Welcome back, YouTube. This is going to be Prepping 101. I think this is video 3 or 4. Gotta forgive me, it's been a while since I've done these. I think almost a year. We are going to be doing a stealth camp. Basically, the last video, or the second to last video I did, I think the last video was about food, but this one's going to be utilizing the go bag that I have, and just kind of going over basically how to use it. The go bag, I told you that the main scenario for a go bag is going to be trying to get home. You should have enough provisions and everything to be able to make it back to your house, no matter where you're at. I think I said like 8 hours to 16 hours, like maybe a day at the max, to be able to make it home and have enough provisions for that. So today we are going to pretty much test that theory. I'm in my truck right now. We're going to pretend that I'm actually at a campground right now, but we're going to pretend that shit hit the fan. I was a day's worth, if not a little bit over a day's worth of a drive away from my house, and I'm trying to get back there. I've actually got my go bag right back there. I don't know if y'all can see it or not. Might have to bring it around. Yeah, I've got my go bag right there. I've got my jacket. I've got some filming equipment too. I'm actually going to be carrying a little bit more. That backpack right there is just full of filming equipment. But the main stuff that I'm going to be using as far as fire starting and everything is going to be from my go bag and my everyday carry. So as part of my everyday carry, I always carry my phone, keys, wallet. Of course, that's a given. I also every day carry a handgun. I have my handgun license, so everyday carry includes a handgun as well as a pocket knife. So all that stuff is not technically going to be in the go bag because it is part of my everyday carry, so I should have that on me whether I have the go bag or not. But as I said last time, the thing about a go bag is you want to keep it in your vehicle and be able to be grabbed at any time, which if you can see right there, it's right back there. It's usually where I keep it. And then I also keep a stealth shelter as well. The reason I keep a stealth shelter in my truck is because if you're parked on the side of a road, like if you do end up having to stay overnight somewhere or having to travel overnight to get back to your residence, then parking on the side of the road it's the easiest, but it's definitely not the most secure. So I keep a stealth shelter, aka a camping blind or a hunting blind. It's a pop-up hunting blind with a tarp. And the reason why I do that is so that way I can park my vehicle, take everything that's valuable out of the vehicle, lock the vehicle, and I can go off into the woods. I can go off into the trees and pretty much just hide inside in the hunting blind in the trees. So that way if somebody does come up upon my truck, I do have a firearm with me if worst case scenario, but they come up to my vehicle, they try to look in it. I'm not in it, so they won't be able to sneak up on me per se. They would sneak up on the vehicle. I have my vehicle locked, so the alarm would go off. I would be able to hear it a further distance away out of sight and be able to react appropriately depending on the situation. So I'm going to go ahead and get out. We're going to hike down this little trail right here to a little camping spot, but that's the only thing that's not going to be realistic about this, is that I'm going to be camping at a campground. So let's get started.
I got all this potential that's deep inside of me, but they hate when you're successful cause they try to be. They sit there being judgmental because you're trying things, and they just want you to settle and do the right thing. So get a good job, don't slack off. Wake up every morning, make a good impression on your boss. Don't do anything that I wouldn't do, and when you're making money, make sure you don't spend it too soon.
Alright YouTube, I am actually in the tent. It is set up. I don't know if y'all can see right here, but I have firewood. So I am completely encased inside this thing. It's camouflaged. It's got a couple of flaps like the one you can see behind me right here. So that way I can set it up to where there's a little bit of ventilation, but it's got this little see-through or non-see-through mesh, so I can see through it, people can't on the other side. And yeah, about to get the fire started. So, this is definitely not the most comfortable, but it is safe and it is relatively secured. I have this, which is going to be my homemade kindling I'm going to use to start the fire.
I think this life could be special if I get rid of the devils. They think that I am a rebel, I think they want me to settle. There's nobody on my level, they think that work is too stressful. I think that work is essential, the grind is all in your mental. And I don't think you understand what I'll go through just to be in control of my life soon. All the negativity, man, I'm immune. I don't really need a mask with all I've been through. I've been making changes for the ages. 5-10 year plans are contagious. I attack that shit, I'm tenacious. And if you ain't, get the fuck out of my way then. Got one life, I won't regret it. I will fight until I get.
There we go. Firebox is set up. Small, lightweight, and portable. So, kindling inside. This is a fire-rated tarp, by the way.
This is a fire-rated tarp, by the way. This is a fire-rated tarp, by the way.
So I don't have to worry about anything catching on fire. So the way that this is designed to work is for you to be able to build it up and eventually take these large logs and basically just stick them in the mouth and feed them through as they're going. You just kind of feed them, basically insert here, and as it burns down, you just push it through. So I have this, I have matches if I need to, I have a ferro rod, but the whole thing that you want to try to do is make sure that you have repetition or redundancy. It's a better word for it. So, got something on my face. Probably just making it worse, but yeah, it's about 70 degrees out here right now and I'm sweating my ass off. But the low today is supposed to be 40, so we'll see. There we go. We have a fire, or the start of one. So yeah, I think I can turn this off now. Yep, fire. Thing is that since it is indoors, you don't want it to get too insanely big right off the bat. So for filming purposes, of course, we're having a lot more light in here than we would if we were actually during like an SHTF scenario. Because during that, I would have all the light off. It would look something similar to this right now. And after a couple of minutes of coaxing, we were able to get our fire going. Maybe a little warm, so I'm going to move it a little bit closer. I'll let it get a little too high, but just to show you the light that would be giving off right now, be about that much, which isn't terrible, but also got to be very careful and cognizant of this right here. So may have let it get a little too high, but we'll see. Oh, that's not good. Yeah, So it appears I need to change strategies because the fire rated tarp is not fire rated. It melted through to the bottom. So plan B, we're gonna get this fire started. Alright guys, so that was a spectacular fail. The tarp caught on fire. I've got holes in the tarp now, which was supposed to be my bottom of the tent. So yeah, I'll have to go back and double check and see what I can do. I do have another option as far as like indoor fuel goes, but it's kind of saving that one for another day because it's the let's see if I can find it. It's the Sterno Stove, which is probably what I'm going to use to make my to heat up my food, but it's can't be used indoors. A lot of people do use it indoors. I know for a fact whenever I used to camp with my grandfather back in East Texas, he had a Sterno heater that he used in the deer stand, so definitely can be done, but I wasn't wanting to have to get this out. I was really hoping I could use, I don't even think you can see it over there, the actual camp fuel. So it is currently 68 degrees. I have my jacket on, but probably don't need it, to be honest. And yeah, so I've got a visible fire going. Here's my Sterno. All right, well, now we have a fire going on the Sterno stove, aka the Sterno is now lit, so we can get started heating up some water for dinner. And also guys, a neat little trick to make sure your water boils a little quicker, and also to keep debris and other things out of it, because I think I just got a couple of pieces of tree bark inside mine. Cover it with a lid. All right, well, this solo overnight adventure in the woods is drastically different than what I expected it to be. The tarp didn't hold up the way that it said it would, or the way that it was advertised. I've got one large log for actual firewood. I was supposed to be feeding a bunch of small logs into the indoor tent stove, but yeah, we will see how it goes. We may end up retiring pretty early into the tent where there's holes all in the floor. So I do have the tarp treated with permethrin, so we will see if it still keeps the bugs out. I've been checking every once in a while just to make sure, and I haven't seen any bugs so far, but you never know. So, but with that, I think I will bring you back whenever we are done with whenever our water is pretty close to boiling. So all right guys, well, this is exactly why you come out here and do this, to test your stuff. I found out, one, that the stove that I was intending to use to keep the fire indoors does not work, and that's mainly due to, I guess, the tarp not being fire rated like it was advertised to be. Secondly, I had this Sterno stove here with a can of Sterno that I was using to boil the water, as you saw right before I let you go, to basically boil the water for my dinner, right? Well, the Sterno went out, and it lights, and it'll stay lit for about a minute or so, and then it goes out. So had to swap to boiling the water on the fire. That's why you always have backups. You have backups on backups on backups. It's that way anytime this shit ever happens, you're able to continue doing what you need to do. It looks as though it is finally boiling. So what I am going to do is turn off my flashlight so I'm not, or headlamp, so I'm not blinding everybody. And I am going to make my dinner. Which is just basically taking the boiling water and pouring it into, to make sure it's boiling all the way. It is. And taking the boiling water, pouring it into the bag. Giving it a quick little shake and stir. And then sealing it up for 10 minutes. Touching it a little bit. It is boiling water though. You want to make sure it's nice and shook up. And also I just realized I don't have any utensils. So we're gonna figure this shit out. You know, I was talking to a couple of my buddies. They were texting me and I was telling them how shitty this was going, and they were asking me if I was still going to upload this. And I was thinking about it and I was like, yes, why wouldn't I? Because you never know how to get over adversity and to show people that shit doesn't always go the way you want it to. So I am currently attempting to whittle, or I guess carve, whatever you want to call it, whittling, carving, a somewhat spoon for me to be able to eat my wonderful chicken Alfredo. And I was thinking about it, and that's one of the biggest things about survival that you've got to learn how to do, is adapt and be able to not only adapt but improvise. What is it? Adapt and overcome, or whatever it is that they say. So that's exactly what I'm attempting to do right now. Is I didn't pack my camp utensils, and that's something else that I think I even brought up in the video where I was going over everything in my go bag, was that I needed to get utensils. So no, I think I actually brought that up in the food video, if I'm not mistaken, because I did this something similar where I had the Alfredo. It's right down there. Yeah, can you see it? It's right there. It's hard to tell, but I had the Alfredo again, and I was showing and demonstrating how to actually prepare it, and I didn't have a utensil, and that was what, almost a year ago. I told myself I was going to get one, and as you can tell, I did. I just didn't bring it, so it's getting there slowly but surely. But this is definitely one of those things that you have to learn how to do, is to adapt, improvise, and overcome challenges in anything, like whether it's survival, whether it's day-to-day things, your job, your hobbies, anything like that. You just got to be able to improvise and be creative enough to make it work regardless. But yeah, I'm gonna sit down now because y'all kind of saw how I'm getting it started. Yeah. So by now, this thing is ready to go, but I am not going to open it until I am ready to go, which won't be until I get this thing done. Oh Lord. Wind's starting to pick up a little bit. There is supposed to be a little bit of rain coming in. It's supposed to hit around 2 o'clock today, or tonight, today. 2 o'clock tonight. So hopefully, me being next to this little creek bed, it's not going to get too bad. but we'll see. I may be having to hike out of here at 2 o'clock in the morning, depending on how bad it gets. But yeah, with everything going today in the world, I feel like getting out and enjoying nature right now is probably one of the best things you can do. Get you away from the stresses, allows you to forget a little bit about everything that's going on, whether it's the economy, whether it's the stuff that's going on overseas, just everything that's happening. You can kind of get in nature and worry about shit like this. So just changes your worries. No, but for real, even though this is mildly annoying, I'm having a wonderful time out here trying to come up with solutions to all of these horrendously wonderful problems I'm having. So let me know what y'all think in the comments about how everything's going. I think I just heard somebody's dog off in the distance. That's cool. So this campground is amazing. It's just outside San Antonio, just outside the 1604 loop, which is the outer loop in San Antonio. It's in a little town called Helotes. It's got a lot of suburbs and stuff around it, but it's a nice little, I think it's 50 acres or so. It's got, I think, 24 campsites, give or take. And this one's actually the farthest away. You've got to do a little hike to get in there, to get in here to it. And yeah, it's you can hear vehicles go by. San Antonio has an international airport, and I think this is the actual way that they travel whenever they're landing the planes. So the flight path is overhead. You might hear a couple of airplanes while we're out here. You can definitely hear cars and things from the loop. It's about a quarter mile away. But I mean, as far as nature goes out here, it's amazing. So definitely give it a 10 out of 10. As far as the experience, I'm able to get far enough away that I can kind of do my own thing and I can still talk to y'all and stuff without disturbing other campers. I think I haven't heard anybody else out here other than me. The only campsite that I really saw that might be annoyed by me is the one that's just as you come in from the truck, off to my left, right as you come in on that trail. But even still, I think I'm far enough back that I'm hopefully not disturbing them too much. But yeah, it's slowly coming together. I've got a nice little minuscule dip going on, so about another 5 minutes or so I should be able to enjoy my dinner, which we'll see. Digging into it a little bit more now because I'm getting a little hungry. So, but yeah, you got to be extremely careful not to cut yourself because it would be extremely easy to do so. The wind is really picking up, which means that that rain might be coming in a little sooner than I thought. That's the other thing that sucks about this shelter too, is it's not designed to be 100% waterproof. So if it does start pouring, I'll be in for a wet night. And hopefully that doesn't happen. Mainly also too because I have all my camera gear and filming gear. So we shall see how it goes. All right, so there we have it. I don't know if y'all can see that very well. It's got a nice little dip in it, and I am hungry, so this is gonna have to do for now. We shall see. Probably gonna eat my food, do a nice little spider check inside, which is just basically shining the light, the flashlight, shining it over and seeing if there's any little beady little eyes looking back at me or not. And then killing what I can, because that would be my luck at this point, is if the permethrin also decided not to work. So here I go. It's chicken Alfredo, all right. Yeah, this is definitely my my go-to as far as survival. Well, not survival, but just the freeze-dried meals. Like, all of them are good, but this just tastes exactly like what you expect it to taste like when you read chicken Alfredo. So made it work. So I would say that being able to sit here with y'all and eat this wonderful chicken Alfredo with this survival utensil, with the fire that I was able to get going, I'd say I overcame a decent amount of obstacles and challenges to be able to keep this thing going, so that way I didn't have to pack up and head in early. Or at least for now early, because I don't know when the rain comes how well this thing's going to hold up, or this dry creek bed that's right next to me, if it's going to turn into an actual creek. If there's anything that you've seen that I can improve on as far as survival skill wise, besides my idiocy and extreme bad luck, feel free to comment down below in the comment section. If you also want to just call me an idiot, go for it. I've definitely lost some common sense in this by thinking that a fire rated tarp was actually fire rated. So also, I'm kind of letting the fire burn down, because pretty much right after I finish eating, I think I'm gonna pack it into the tent. It's around 8:30, probably closer to 9 o'clock now. Yeah, it's 8:40, so I'll probably pack it in and bring you inside the tent and follow up there. But I'm gonna finish my dinner, and I will see y'all a little bit later in the tent. Hello everybody. It is now currently 6 o'clock in the morning. I know I said I was going to reach out to y'all after I got through eating, but I had a massive headache last night. I still kind of have one, and so I came straight into here and went straight to bed. And by straight to bed, I mean tossing and turning, flipping and flopping, waking up, trying to stare at the ceiling to keep myself awake, and staring at the ceiling to try to doze off and everything. Probably got maybe 2.5, 3 hours of sleep tops. So it's about to be daylight soon, so I'm going to go ahead and start packing everything up and try to get out of here. So I will see y'all all whenever I get back to the truck. Thanks. Alright guys, just made it back to the car, the truck. I can see the lights starting to come up, the sun's starting to come up. Thanks again for joining me on this absolute shit show, but at the same time we made it through it. I was able to adapt and overcome and improvise, and I'll try to do another one in a little bit that will be more thought out and have my preps a little better prepared. So thanks again for watching. Subscribe if you want to see me fail a lot more. Give the like. Sorry, such a long night. Give the video a thumbs up, give it a like if you loved watching me suffer. So thanks again, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye.